What's up guys, welcome back to Shifting Lanes and welcome to a video that I don't want to make because today we're going to go over exactly how much it cost me to build a 450 horsepower Volvo sleeper dad wagon, and yeah, it's not pretty. Shifting Lanes would like to thank this month's sponsor, Avalon King Armor Shield 9. Check the link in the description below to go to their website and see their ceramic coating next level product, Armor Shield 9. Use code SHIFT25 to receive $25 off your purchase of Armor Shield 9. We have this on our cars and it is an amazing product. Get yours today. Check the link in the description below or go to avalonking.com and use code SHIFT25. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching, and if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. That helps us out a lot, and at the end of the video, please smash the like button. Right now, I'm getting gas, and I'm going to go to a very scenic location in a local park, and yeah, because I'm at a busy gas station, I'm gonna hop in the car, we'll head there now, and then we'll talk some numbers. I love that sound. That will never get old. All right, guys. Well, today's the day because, like I said, I have not wanted to make this video basically at all because this is a video that kind of puts everything in perspective as far as this channel, as far as builds, and as far as this car really is concerned, for how long it's, well, for how far it's come. So what I have here is a quick cost breakdown of like general stuff, and I also have here the full build list from Rolling Motors. Now, I'm not going to go over absolutely everything, because honestly that would be a 45 to 60 minute video. It would be a lot of talking, and I want to keep this to like 10-15 minutes at max, so I don't, one, bore you guys, and two, you can kind of know what you're getting into if you want to get one of these cars or an older car to modify and what kind of budget you should be putting forward. So with that being said, let's go over all of the general stuff first. Then I'm going to get into the full build of the motor. When I bought this car, I bought it in, oh, I think it's last February or March now. I spent $9,500 on this car. And that came at a premium because it's a rare car. By rare, I mean it's a low production enthusiast wagon to start off with. Now, the reliability on these things is not great, but the thing is, it's a very good color combination of dark magic blue with the Atacama interior. Now, a more general wagon like this that I had previously, which was the gray one, that was $3,900 with even less miles than this one had. It was gray with a blue Nordcap interior, and that was only $3,900. This gets a premium because of the rarity, because of the color combination, and because of the rare tan peanut butter Atacama interior. So $9,500 was the starting point for this car. Honestly, I think it was undervalued a little bit, and probably could have pulled between $11,000 and $12,000 at the time. But, you know, that's negotiation, and Alex Spinner gave me a great deal on the car, so thank you to Alex for kind of helping us utilize this car to really launch the channel into, you know, what it's become. So, $9,500 there. I refinished the interior of this car from Fibernew. All of the seats were re-dyed, which I now believe is a mistake. The Fibernew franchise that I used in Delaware, they're in the Delaware Water Gap here in northern New Jersey / Pennsylvania, did an okay job, but the problem was it didn't come out great and it's not lasting very long. I would recommend just completely reskinning the seats entirely, taking off the crappy old Volvo leather, which really doesn't last that long if it's not taken care of, and just replacing it with brand new leather. You'll probably save yourself money in the long run. Now, the other thing that happened with this car is I actually ran into it with my own other car, at the time a 2014 Subaru WRX. It rolled down my driveway and smashed the front end. The total cost of that, which was the paint, the bodywork, the front end, replacement parts, the bumper, the hood and the new light and everything, that turned out to be $5,700. Now that is a lot of money, but could have been a lot more, and unfortunately that was an out-of-pocket cost. Insurance didn't cover it because it was my own two cars and I didn't have the appropriate insurance for it. So that kind of sucks, but you know, it's what happens, and you live and you learn. I got better coverage on this car now, and everything is totally fine. But another $5,700 on top of the $1,800 to refinish the 5 new seats and the $9,500 initial cost. The next thing on the list, which is probably my favorite thing, is the turbo back exhaust from Josh at 88 Fab. I believe I paid $1,500 for it in full. It's a prototype exhaust. I believe it was the first one he ever made, and it is, I think it was $1,500. I'm putting it as $1,500. It could be less or more by maybe 100 or 200. So, you know, most $1,700, at least $1,300. I think we worked a little bit of a deal on it. But yeah, it's probably my favorite mod that I've done outside of the engine build, because it just sounds so freaking epic when you get on this, when you get on the throttle in this car, and I just love it. It's awesome, but another expense, $1,500. Tires for this car, the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's were $1,200, and because I ran one to the ground on the Dragon, that was another $287 on top. So I'd say $1,400 for the tires. The wheels, now not these wheels, the wheels I initially bought for this car were Advanti Reigns, and they were also $1,500. So wheel and tire costs are up around $3,000. But I'm actually going to be selling those wheels and getting completely new summer wheels next year for this car. These are just going to do the rest of this summer and winter duty, and then we'll get a new set next year, which I'm sure I'll make a video on, and they're going to look really, really cool. So another $1,500 on top for wheels. Sway bars. I have sway bars on this car now, and I know I owe you guys a video on them. They are from Elevate. I had them on the gray wagon when I had that before I sold it. They are awesome. They work really, really well. You can also get them from IPD. Either one of those companies make superb product. I recommend both of them. I can personally recommend the Elevates. I've had them on my car and they're awesome, but talk to anybody in the Volvo community and either one works just as well. They're, I think, comparable thickness. So either one works great. Get in contact with IPD or get in contact with Dawn at Elevate, and they may actually work with you on the price a little bit. So the price for this was $600 for the sway bars. The next thing is sort of miscellaneous expenses. Back when I had a lot of problems with this car when I first bought it last year, the car was running fine, and then all of a sudden it would just start and then sputter out and die. We figured out that it was a bad injector flooding a cylinder, and I had to get that fixed. There's also both front wheel bearings went in this car. I had to get that fixed, and just all of those miscellaneous expenses sort of added up over time to the tune of $3,700 since I bought this car. I would need to go back and get all of my receipts for this, and again, to be honest with you, that would also lead to a 45 to 60 minute video. So just the full cost of all of these little nickel and dime things that could crop up as you own these cars, you know, it adds up. So that's $3,700 on top. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video, and this is the full cost from Rolling Motors for what I paid to get 450 horsepower out of this car. I'm gonna give you a range because I don't feel like it's fair to Ben, to me, or to anyone else in the Volvo community that owns these things to give you my number exactly, because my build is gonna be different from your build, is gonna be different from his build, is gonna be different from her build. So depending on what you do, this is what you should budget to get this power out of this car safely. Now, the range should be between probably about $5,500 to about $10,000. Now that is with everything that I'm going to go over. It really depends on the shop that you build it with, because Rolling Motors and I, we worked on this together. We figured out exactly what we wanted to do to get to the power numbers that I wanted. If you want less power, it'll probably cost less. If you want more power, it's gonna cost more. These are basic economic things that you guys, you know, should know working on cars like this, and you probably do know if you're watching this channel. But here's the full list within reason to what we basically did. Labor obviously was a big cost. We did a full AOC service, an all-wheel drive service on this thing with a full AOC kit, the AOC pump, or with the full Haldex 3 service kit from FCP Euro. We put in a new pump, we put in new filters, new sensors, everything like that. We also did a stage 1 head, which was basically resurfaced it, and we did a multi-layer steel head gasket, a 5-cylinder head port, set the valve lash, valve stem seals, and the 5-cylinder valve job. So all of that should be factored in. We did shims. So shimming this block is something that really needs to be done to make this car, well, this engine, a lot safer and reliable. This engine is prone to cylinder cracking right at the cylinder walls where the gap is between the cylinder walls, essentially between each cylinder. If you don't know that, and you don't know this channel and watch, we're big into Volvos, especially the 5 cylinders, but that is a known issue in these cars. And if you put a little metal shim, depending on what it is, aluminum, steel, brass, what have you, that actually helps it from cracking. And if you really want to go for a big build, you can put sleeves in there to completely close the deck and just make it completely reliable up to 600-700 horsepower. We also put a K24, K26 hybrid turbo in this car. Now, that means it's a K26 Porsche turbo shoved inside of a K24 housing. The stock turbo for this car is a K24. So essentially, this is a stock turbo housing with a bigger turbo put inside. Now, there is an upgrade you can do to the wheels of a K24 to make it like a hybrid, but this is a true hybrid where another turbo was built and kind of put into another turbo's housing. That's what we did, and this thing is probably good to about 450 horsepower, which is what this is pushing. You can probably get this to, this is at 363 wheel horsepower. You can probably push it to 400, 450 wheel, but then you really want to start upgrading the turbo at that point. All the gaskets you can imagine are on these next 2 pages. Turbo manifold gasket, water pipe gasket. it's just like nuts and bolts and washers and gaskets and a whole bunch of like craziness. Let's see, what else? What else? Oh my god. Cam seal, water pipe gasket, solenoid gasket, gasket, washer, hose clamp. Sweet Jesus. Oh, there's so much. I never want to be able to do this myself. But another reason why I talk about difference in builds and an actual range of price is because things come up during the build. What we did with this car is we added an oil cooler sort of towards the end. It was undecided, but that's something that was factored in near the end. We also replaced the clutch position sensor because, as a lot of you have noted in one of our other videos, when we were sort of accelerating and letting off, we would get sort of an over rev as we were letting off. The clutch position sensor on these cars is really not that good. So even when you let off and push the clutch in, it may still rev because it thinks you're actually hammering on the gas when you're not. So it's just a very touchy clutch and accelerator thing in these cars, but we replaced that and it made it a little bit better. One other thing that we also did was an upgraded fuel pump, because what we were noticing, what Ben and Steve-O, the tuner, was noticing, is that this was getting severely it was getting a lot of fuel plateau. So an upgraded fuel pump allowed for more flow and basically a lot more fuel to be dumped in and better power. So we did that, and that was something that we noticed along the lines and did on the back end because, again, didn't think we would need it, but to get to, this power number, we needed to do it. And the last thing was injectors. We went with 750cc injectors, but I'm told with the tune it's basically more like an 800 injector. So that's pretty much it. And then there's just a whole bunch of like craziness, and also the tune on top. So you should budget between, I said $5,100, probably $5,500 to $10,500 to get this sort of build, and that will probably hold true Rolling Motors or other shops around the country. So I have the grand total on this initial sheet, and if you want to talk about cost, since initiation with the car included, $34,100, and with the car taken out of the equation, 25 grand. So that is a pretty insane pill to swallow, especially in only a year and a half. When in reality, I could have been leasing a supercar for that kind of cash. So if you divide that out, you're looking at between $500 to $1,000 a month. Actually, it's more than that. Holy crap. Hang on, I'm gonna do some quick math. So you're talking 20 months, right? So if you take, let's just say 25,000, I think it's rounded up just by like 100 or 200, divided by 20 months, you're looking at $1,250 a month for this car if you really want to talk about it. Now, and that's not even talking about operating costs, where, other wearable items like oil changes I didn't factor into this equation. Fuel I didn't factor into this equation, and there's been a lot of it because this thing is not really that great on gas. So you're talking probably closer to 30 grand when everything's all said and done. And luckily we can make videos like this for you guys, and you know, we can utilize that money to make cool cars like this. But to put it in perspective, $1,250 is basically a loan for an old supercar, and you can kind of get that anywhere you choose, which is, that's a really bitter pill to swallow, to be quite honest with you, because as much as I love this car, I'd rather be driving around in an old Lamborghini. Yeah, that's just, I mean, who wouldn't? All that being said, would I do it again on this car? I think yeah, actually, because if I went back in time and was able to do it again, that's how much I kind of fell in love with this car. I never really expected to fall for this thing the way I did. And it's sort of cool to look back at all the stuff that I've done over the last year and 3/4 to show to you guys. Whether you guys like it or not, I enjoyed doing it. So that's really what matters to me. And I hope a lot of you have enjoyed it along the way. I know there's been some annoying clickbaity stuff, but hey, that's YouTube. So sorry about that. Hopefully it'll get less clickbaity in the future, but given the way YouTube is structured, probably not. So for those of you that do believe in us and do want to watch us and find us entertaining for our stupid faces somehow, thank you guys so much for watching, and continue to watch, because maybe eventually someday we will own old supercars and stuff like that, and you know, this will become my daily driver. So that would be awesome. Hopefully we make enough money for that in the near future for it to happen. So that'll do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you liked it, please, you know, just give a comment below. If you have any questions about this or my budget or anything like that, leave it in the comments and I will do my best to answer every single question that you guys throw at me. If you found this video informational or entertaining in any way, I mean, it wasn't really entertaining. I kind of just went to a gas station and then went to a park. But anyway, that's not the point here. The point is, I am trying to give you guys a real world look into what we do here on a YouTube channel that has 33,000 subscribers now, which is kind of crazy to think about. Hopefully we can get to 100,000 and 1 million and 2 million and whatever, and become one of those big YouTube channels that you see all over the place. But thank you guys so much for your support. That'll do it for this one, and I will catch you next time. See ya.